Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, online at kvre.com, and on iHeartRadio. Alongside Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, happy Valentine's Day to you, by the way. Hope you and the missus have great plans figured out for tonight, and excited for the big weekend in sports this week.
Oh, no doubt about that, Mark. Yes, we do. We definitely have something probably sports related, but also some hearts involved there too. You know, family tradition. We've got to follow the theme of what we do around the area. But leading up to today, we've had a busy week still even. How are you feeling after the Super Bowl and stuff? We'll get into that a little bit later, I know. But how you feeling, Mark? You look a little pink around the gills there, buddy.
I'm kind of sad that it's over. You know, the crazy thing about these championship games, you wait all season to get to that moment, and then in just a few hours' time, the offseason begins, and it feels like it's going to be a long time before NFL games are back on. You know, Tracy, something that you mentioned is family and tradition. That's a great segue to start our show this week. We've got a special guest joining us on the program who has been a longstanding staple on the basketball court for more than 3 decades here across Garland County. Coach Eddie Lamb of Lakeside Boys Basketball joins us on the program this week. Coach Lamb had a huge accomplishment back about a month ago, surpassing the 600 win mark in boys basketball on the high school level. But his coaching career goes far beyond that. Here to tell us more, Coach Eddie Lamb. Coach, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you guys for having me.
Coach, you've kind of been all around the block here in Garland County, stops at 3 of the major schools here. Of course, you've made yourself a family name there at Lakeside High School. And first, congratulations on the achievement there. 600 wins on the high school basketball level. And of course, my understanding is that that's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what you've done on the basketball court, especially on the junior high level. More than 1,000 wins in your coaching career. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but which one was your favorite one?
I tell you what, I've had so many good ones. Of course, the one that probably put us in the state finals at Yes Hill was a big win. We won there in Danville there, had a big win to put us in the state. And another big one was my 500th win. My son Sawyer hit a buzzer beater to win that game. So on the 500th win in high school, my son Sawyer hit a buzzer beater to win, and that was special because he was involved as well. But, you know, looking back on all those wins, I could go back and tell you a bunch of them, all, you know, through Jessville, Lakeside, all these great kids I've coached here in Garland County. There's just been so many tremendous wins, but those two probably stick out the most because we was able to advance to the state finals. And then one of them, when I was at Lakeside, Sawyer hit the buzzer beater.
Coach, of course, like Mark stipulated, 3 decades of it. What did it take, and what do you dedicate this to as far as your longevity and staying with the game? I know you've had your ups and downs like any coach is going to at this length of a term, but what do you say that's kept you in the game this long?
You know, to me, the youth of it to keep me at my age now. I started at 22, and I always played the game, whether football, basketball. You know, just growing up, played sports. And when I got out of college playing basketball, I thought, you know, I wanted to coach. I knew I did. You know, as every kid, I wanted to play pro or something, pro basketball or pro football, whatever. And when I got into coaching, I just never felt. And I really mean it. I've never felt like I've worked in 30 years. And a lot of people just can't say that about their job because I go in, I work with kids, I teach kids basketball, I go to games, I'm competitive. The competitive part's what I love the most because I love winning. You know, I don't have many bad nights in my life a year. The losses are the bad nights of my life. You know, those are the bad times. The great times is taking a young kid as a 7th grader, putting him in the weight room, working his form shot, and seeing that kid develop as a young man, and then along the way he becomes a good basketball player. So the joy out of me is just working with these guys and being a part of it, and me also being in the gym at 56 now. It keeps me young.
Yeah, and of course, a very great thing as well. You've been around the game for a long time. You've been around these families for a long time. You know, coaching student athletes, and then eventually going on to maybe even coach their children as well later on in life. You know, I know that it's more than just basketball to you as well. It's like you said, it's developing young men into future fathers, husbands, business leaders, community leaders. outside of the X's and O's on the basketball court, what are some of those values that you try to instill in these young student athletes for their future ahead?
We talk about the job, get out of the job and be able to be, like when I'm trying to coach them hard, I'm like, you get out in the real job, you're going to have a boss. You got to be at work on time. We tuck our shirts in when we come to practice. I think that's important to look good. I'm a time person. If I say practice is 8 o'clock, I want you there at 7:45. I think that's big in the workforce. You don't show up late for work. Again, how you look. I don't accept technical fouls from our players, how they act. I would consider myself pretty old school, but for a fact, I do feel that way. But I also feel like parents enjoy that part of me than that part of coaching, because the demand and our expectations of that from their children will definitely make them better when they get older. And like I said, you made a point. I've coached several now, father and son combination. I've coached their dads, and now I'm coaching their sons. So in those fathers, I can still talk to them just like I did then. And even they're out in the workforce, and they do appreciate the things that I've tried to teach them over the years. And now I'm teaching their sons that.
Coach, some great values, no doubt about that you expect out of your kids. But tell me this: is there somebody in your past that maybe that you looked at and said, you know what, that's the guy right there, and you try to imitate him, emulate him, whatever the case is? Who's some of those personal people that you look at and say, that's the ticket right there? That's what I want to be like when I coach later.
Well, the guys that were real influential in me was my high school coach, Joe Treat was a big one. Grady Bean, I played for him in Harrison. He was always big, always a big part of my life. And then the guy that gave me my first job at Derek Jessville, George Foshee, was like a second father to. He also signed my paychecks, which that made it even better. But he was always very good to me and kept me in line as a 22, 23-year-old kid when I first got the job there. And then, and then moving along the line, even the Lakeside, Sean Cook, gave me a chance over here. And I learned a lot from him as well. So I've had a lot of people, and of course, my family, my mother, people like that, obviously, but I've had a lot of people be very influential in me and the drive that I have to want to keep doing this. And I still enjoy it. I really do. It's a big part of my life.
And of course, I know that there's other connections with really fellow coaches here in Garland County as well. My understanding is Coach Jake Detmering over at Fountain Lake was one of your players back in the day.
Yeah, Jake was a dandy for me. He was a tough kid. He started 3 years for me. I never asked Jake to do anything Jake wouldn't do for the team, and that's what's made him such a good coach now. And I'm proud to see him, especially in the Fountain Lake community, because I love the Fountain Lake community. That was our big rival all those years, and Tracy can tell you that. But, hey, I have so many good friends there and so many battles we've had. And even the Daly kid, Hunter, is the junior high coach over there, and Hunter played for me as well. And both those young men are doing great for Fountain Lake. So it makes me proud to see.
Coach, let's switch gears. Let's talk about this year's team for Lakeside. I know that you guys are right in the thick of it right now in the hunt for the postseason. Tell me a little bit about the year, some of the leaders that you have on this year's squad as you guys approach the finish line.
Yeah, we're right there. I mean, this was a team that we was a state tournament team last year and came back. We didn't have one kid that had any varsity experience except one, is Axel Jansky. And I brought him up as a ninth grader last year, a 6'2" sophomore. Axel's averaging about 18 a game, and he's led this team to where we are today. Now, we've developed a lot of kids along the way, and we're in the mix. We're there. We're playing so good. I love the team. The team practices hard. They got a good locker room. The chemistry is really good, and we're excited. I mean, I can't wait to get to practice every day, and that's what makes it fun when you have that feeling about you. But outstanding group of young men that have gotten so much better from November to February. And that's what you like to see when they get better. You want to see them each and every day improve, and that's what this team's been doing.
Looking ahead to the schedule, Coach, of course, a big game on the road, El Dorado. I know it's a long road trip for you guys, but the Wildcats, a team that you were able to compete well against earlier this year. Also, the Texarkana Razorbacks, the Benton Panthers. You guys have a busy, good week or so ahead of you here. What's some of the game plan and some of the thoughts going ahead into the final stretch of the regular season?
Yeah, get in Eldo, you got to take care of the ball, you got to rebound the ball, and you got to get back on. If we do those three things, we'll be fine. We beat them at our place, and it was a tough game, but I feel really good going to that game. Texarkana is the same thing, and then Benton is the number one team in the league, so that would certainly be that's our senior night here at home, so that'll be a great night. Either way, the senior night's always special to honor our three seniors, so that would be awesome. But looking at El Dorado on Tuesday, that's going to be a good one. We need to go still on the road. Getting you a road win in the 5A South is tough, but we're going to be up for the challenge.
Coach, with this team you got right now, the techniques that you've got right now, do you just leave it up to the team you're going to play, or do you just stick with the techniques that you've got right now that you've come to the big games with and won some decisive games, or do you switch it up a little bit depending on the team or depending on the whoever you're playing that week?
100%. We watch, obviously watch game film and we scout, and if one thing's working, one time, that doesn't mean it's always going to work second time. You always have a backup plan. We normally go in each game with something that we're really good at that we practice every day, then also a different wrinkle that we think we can beat an El Dorado or a Texarkana. And you never stop trying to get better at trying to win a ball game. I mean, there's not a night I don't I don't lay down and look at what I can do or to help this team win a ball game. So it's something that just people ask me all the time. It's just something you do. It's just what the life you live during a 5 or 6 month grind season, and it's what I like. It's what I like to do, and it's fun.
Coach, what we always like to ask the coaches whenever they join the show, tell me about maybe a favorite story or a favorite moment from this season on or off the basketball court that really captures who this team is behind the scenes.
Well, I always like to share about this team the most. This is a great team, but we always have every Christmas we have a party at my house. It's our Christmas party, and it's kind of funny you mentioned that. This year our kids obviously all came to that party, and we just had the best time. Just such a respectful group of kids. Again, I'm a time guy, on time, the things that we talk about at these deals. But I would think the biggest thing for this team is our get-togethers that we've had. And then people don't understand, we're with these kids more than their families are. It's different. Say, hey, I just want to hoop. To be a part of a team, it's structure. It's a time commitment. We don't just practice. We practice on Sunday afternoons. We practice 5 days a week. We're 6 days a week with each other. The day they normally have off is Saturday. And that day I may be going to the races, so I'm not going to practice on that day. So, just kidding. But I do enjoy that. But it's a grind, and that's what we love about these kids. And just the times we have together. But the Christmas party at my house this year was exceptional. I had the best time with these kids this year at that party.
Coach, I know right now with the longevity you had, the tee drops and everything else, how much more gas is in the tank before you hang up that whistle?
Man, people ask me all the time, and here's the answer. I still, people know I love to play golf. I do like to go to races. I like to deer hunt a little bit. I don't deer hunt as much as I can because it's during ball season. But I do all the things. I have a great support system at home with my wife, and so I'm not in a hurry to get out. I'm not. I just I'm gonna obviously take it year for year, but I don't see a time right now where I'm ready to go. I love our 5th grade team. I love our junior high team. I can't go all the way down to the kindergartners right now, but all these years I've been able to go down to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and look at these kids coming up in our program. And I like what I see coming up out of our youth. And I got a great assistant coach. I got a great support system at home with my wife, Misty. So I don't know why I wouldn't keep doing it.
No doubt.
Coach, what a great career. Of course, it's a career that continues here on the basketball court. Best of luck to you guys, of course, in your playoff push as well, with a big week coming up throughout the rest of February there. But, just on behalf of Tracy and myself, we want to say congratulations. We want to say thank you for continuing to do what you do, positioning yourself as a leader for these young men in our community, and just trying to create more talented student athletes both on and off the basketball court right here in Hot Springs.
I appreciate you guys. I love it, and I'm going to keep doing it, and I appreciate all you guys do.
Well, buddy, hey, I'll see you in the winner's circle. But obviously, we'll try to get another interview in on that way to the state title, too. Okay, buddy? We'll talk to you soon, Coach.
Sounds good. Thank you guys so much.
Coach Eddie Lamb of Lakeside High School. Great season for the Rams, and they're still very much in the hunt. Best of luck the rest of the way. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition continues when we come back. It's time to break down the Super Bowl. Don't go anywhere. This is 92.9 KVRE.
Second quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE with Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Okay, Tracy, here we go. So the Super Bowl is in the books. It's over. And let's be honest, Seattle didn't just win. They controlled the night from start to finish. Their defense was the headline. They overwhelmed Drake May. 6 sacks and 3 forced turnovers, including really the fourth quarter pick 6 that sealed the deal. From the opening kick here, Seattle took charge of this game and really never looked back. And I had a chance to talk with many people this week and get their thoughts on the contest. And many of them said, and to their credit, that was the most boring Super Bowl I think I've ever watched. It was so hard to get exciting for. Nobody gets excited for field goals and defensive battles and, forcing the MVP runner-up, Drake May, punt. A lot of questions of why is New England here? The Patriots shouldn't even be here. But also on the other side of the coin, there's football enthusiasts that I believe actually like a really strong battle of defenses. What did you think about the game?
Well, Mark, even when they pulled within it was 19-7, everybody sort of went, yeah,
too little, too late.
Yeah, wait, yeah. But what no one in my little circle could understand was even out after halftime when they came back out, why didn't they change things up a little bit? They did this against when they played the Rams, okay. Previously or whatever, but and then even in their game against Denver, they really did that. Is what I meant, Denver. Third quarter, they'd done that 4 times. They were behind, and they changed things up. They went to the hurry up offense and such like that, or they did a little sprint screen. They did all kinds of different things. They never changed anything up, and I think that really threw everybody off kilter. Like they kept going and saying this was eventually going to work when it wasn't going to work. And everybody knew that. You and I, we spoke about this week before last in reference to the defense for Seattle, and everybody that knows anything about football talked about. But what was really astonishing to me was that we knew going in there 18 sacks. Okay, in the postseason
from Seattle's defense.
Yes, all right. They knew, and they knew that they were going to come after him. They knew it. But so why do you? And I know that they were had injured stuff, but your bookends are 2 rookie tackles, and you knew they weren't going to be able to hold the blitz. So why were you still looking downfield and stuff when the short-term stuff, the outside stuff really worked? The pitch laterals, the slants and stuff like that. They never really came back to that. And McDaniels, I mean, look at the quarterback compared to his coach, his offensive coach. They had a key connection all year long, whether they were coming from behind or whether they were just out front dominating. You didn't see that connection. You saw a lot of times Drake May on the sidelines just sort of looking with, deer in the headlights. He wasn't looking at a tablet or anything. So that was really, it was like they flew up the white flag right after halftime.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of starstruck there.
It's a big stage.
It's a lot of the questions there. Why is New England here? And you mentioned the rookie tackles. You mentioned the rookies on the offensive line. How much are they to blame? I mean, you can certainly go back and look at the game and be like, the offensive line absolutely did not protect their quarterback. Almost reminds me out of a scene out of The Longest Yard where they give up on the quarterback because, shaving points and everything like that. I'm not saying that's what Drake May was doing here. I think they legitimately gotten beat. But how much to blame are those rookies whenever you think about also this New England Patriots team? They defeated Denver in their own house, a really good Broncos defense. They've defeated the Buffalo Bills, another really good defense. I mean, this is a team that didn't get here by fluke. I mean, they went from, 4 wins the previous year, and they went a plus 13 this year under Mike Vrabel. I mean, this was not just a fluke and, oh my gosh, this team came out of nowhere and they'll never do it again. This team earned the right to be here. So was Seattle's defense that much better than, say, a Denver or a Buffalo that New England was able to take care of? Or was something else at play here?
No, their defense was that. I mean, everybody knows the dark side now, of course, and with the leadership of it, of course, and with the head coach being your defensive coordinator, obviously helps out a whole lot. But then again, you look at the reverse side, whereas New England had played probably their best ball. But I think that what really, really set the personification of the game was the youth of New England on the biggest stage, one of the biggest stages in the world. They averaged around 23 years of age, and every time they turned around, they had a camera in their face. Every time they turned around, they had an interview. It's more or less a Super Bowl, and you know this as well as I do. It's not just a football game anymore. It's a party leading all the way up to it, and I think maybe the youth had something to do with it leading up to it. How many interviews they had to do and all the other stuff that comes with the hype of the Super Bowl. You had, and don't get me wrong, you had some, veterans on the team, but not clearly enough of leadership to lead them in the direction where you better get home and get back at the hotel room and get some rest. Instead, I think their eyes were a lot brighter than what the Seattle teams was. They had more leadership from the veterans they had on that team. What they did have leading for them was Vrabel, who had been in 4 previously as a player, but not as a coach. So maybe he lacked some skill going into it. And you could have said that for the coach for Seattle, too. 10 years ago, he was coaching high school level. But then again, the leadership from Seattle's team, even their quarterback. He'd been in the league a long time.
What a comeback story for Sam Darnold.
That is the biggest story right there. I want to make everybody, but, and I'm not a New England fan by no means. Okay, I'm not going to judge either team, but don't give up on New England yet. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Do not give up on them.
I agree with you. In a league where, let's assume everybody's healthy, in a league that has Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, now you have the likes of Drake May is in the mix. Bo Nix is in the mix.
Who'd you leave out? A guy, wait a minute, one of your favorite quarterbacks, a duck. You left out one of your guys.
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is, AFC's wide open. It's always been, the NFC is the wild, wild west, and anybody. No, the AFC's here to party as well, and that league just got significantly tougher. But for Seattle, they celebrate on a defense-first identity. It's the redemption arc for Sam Darnold, who now has a ring, and now he is somebody, and he has nothing left to prove to anybody at this point. The Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker III, a backup running back that comes in for Charbonnet. And I'm telling you right now, whenever it's time for contract renewals, Kenneth Walker III is about to get paid bigly. And the other thing, too, that I want to talk about when we talk about MVP, I love that Kenneth Walker III got it. I've been high on him for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Of course, we had Coach Matt Richardson on the show. Everybody loves Kenneth Walker. I do have a bone to pick, though, with the MVP voting here. So
I do, too. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute, who are you going to bring out?
Well, the obvious MVP.
Yes.
The obvious MVP.
Yes.
So for those that don't know, the fan MVP voting, and I don't even know if our votes matter. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if our votes actually matter.
Well, they asked for it, and I don't think it did.
But they asked for it at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yes.
I thought the game was pretty much in hand. I went immediately to my phone to vote for who I felt was the MVP, and guess what? Jason Myers' name was not an option.
Not even an option.
The kicker for Seattle was not even eligible to be the Super Bowl MVP, and that is a crime, Tracy Simpson. It's an absolute crime.
Call the cops right now. Unbelievable. Who comes up? This is one of those committees, Mark, that you and I talk about all the time.
How is a kick in a game like that? And I get it. They've never seen a game like it. They were talking about it all throughout the broadcast. There's never been a Super Bowl without a touchdown. There's never been a Super Bowl that was a shutout. we were on track to do two things in that game that had never been done before. Why is Jason Myers the only person to score? And fun fact, and this is true, he outscored the New England Patriots off of his foot alone.
Unbelievable.
Why is he not considered to be the MVP of the Super Bowl?
Because, Mark.
Because he's a kicker?
Because he wasn't a running back, or he wasn't a big-time defensive guy, and he wasn't a quarterback.
I was surprised that Walker got it because he's the first running back in quite a long time that's been named Super Bowl. It's normally a quarterback award.
Yep, 10 years. I mean,
but if they would have given it to Darnold, I would have had.
What?
I'm just one person, but I was afraid they were going to give it to Darnold after.
Just because of
the kids these days would say it's a mid-game, right?
So get him a ribbon. Everybody gets a ribbon.
Jason Myers, as much as I like Kenneth Walker, and I know I started this little segue about how I love Walker, I think he's going to be great. He is going to be great. Jason Myers should have been your Super Bowl MVP, and it was taken from him. He never even had the option to get it, and that saddens me.
No, it should be everybody. Everybody that where I was at in my little circle, we just thought that was going to be the MVP. You hit all five. You hit both your extra points, and not even. I mean, none of them were even challenged. They were right down the middle.
Yeah.
And leading scorer.
As good as it gets.
Leading scorer once again. And he's not even on the list. Once again, Mark, this is that committee things that you and I talk about all the time.
Sometimes it takes wrong, it takes errors to promote change, and I hope it's something that's changed going forward. Of course, I know that you sat down and you watched the show. Let's talk about the commercials. Any of them stand out to you? I'll tell you, I always go into the Super Bowl commercials hoping for that funny moment. You know, my wife is always looking for the puppy monkey baby. Right. We didn't get one of those this year.
No.
Is it just me? Like, I sat down and I looked at, okay, like, what were my favorite Super Bowl commercials? And outside of the teaser for The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is the movie I'm most excited about this year, I've turned into a big Star Wars nerd over the winter break. Yeah, really? I love this cinematic. The Mandalorian is probably my favorite TV show of all time. If you haven't seen it, even though it's Star Wars, I know it turns a lot of people off, just the action and really just like it's really a story about a father and a son when it comes down to it. No, Darth Vader's not even in it. This is after Vader.
Then how can it be Star Wars?
Sounds like you need to watch The Mandalorian. Anyway, outside of that, which I was super hyped for, all the other commercials I looked at as my favorites were really like the ones that really hit me in the feels. Like, I feel like there's a lot of emotion in these Super Bowl commercials. Like, thinking about like look, I did not need a commercial for Lay's potato chips. I didn't. But
it's all about food.
I'm a grown man, and it almost brought me to tears. The old man giving the farm to his daughter, and I was like, why do I love this so much? I'm not a farmer. I don't even eat potato chips.
They shared a potato chip, man. Come on, dude.
Okay.
The eagle? Come on. The eagle and the horse? And I don't drink Bud Light by no means.
Right. By
no means do I drink Bud Light, and you know that.
Well, there's a lot. There was just a lot. I feel like
eagle. Oh my gosh!
The commercials were designed this year to hit you in the feels, like to evoke that emotion. Great marketing for all these companies, by the way. The only one that really I didn't like was one that kind of infuriated me a little bit as a former soda drinker.
What was that one?
The Polar Bears choosing Pepsi over Coke is absolutely diabolical. And I remember watching that commercial, the words just vomiting out of my mouth. I said, Coke is about to sue them. There's no way.
I would think that they had a trademark on that. I mean, what do I got? Look at the magnet over there on that side.
I know.
I got a polar bear drinking a Coke. I mean, but you know what?
There's a billboard on Albert Pike in Hot Springs that for decades. It's
been
the
there
one
forever.
Right next to Wendy's.
Been there forever.
It was a Coke Polar Bear billboard
forever.
And it's just gone. And that's just the times are changing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, let the legal beagles and eagles. But yeah, no. And I think the commercial that probably cost the most, yet because it cost $10 million for that 30-second, but was the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
I mean,
all the cameos alone.
How much did that cost them?
That was a trip down memory lane.
I didn't even go to Dunkin'. I can't imagine last time.
I know. It doesn't necessarily make me want to go to Dunkin'. Of course, it's it's out of the way for me into my daily travels across town anyway.
It's out of the way for everybody.
But getting a chance to see Jaleel White, Steve Urkel in there, and all the '90s sitcom stars in there. That was fun.
Affleck,
I enjoyed it.
It was, but it was a little bit over over the top for me. But overall, I'm going to give it a C minus. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and
C minus.
grade for the game itself.
The game, though, I really we thought what it was going to be, and it was what it is. Did I get that right?
That was not a grade.
Okay.
What is this? You pick a letter.
B plus.
Ready, set, go. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a straight up C, right down the middle.
Because I had the winner.
I didn't have a dog in the fight, but
we didn't either. NFC.
We did pick the winner, yes. But when I think about it, Seahawks fans probably rate it as an A plus.
Well, sure.
Patriots fans probably rate it as an F.
Well,
so right in the middle, I'm going with just a straight up C, not C minus, not C plus. It's 75.
We're going to look at this 1 year from now, and we're going to say who's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Right now?
Right now.
You want me to say that right now?
1 year from now, we're going to go. We picked it.
Oh boy.
On Valentine's Day.
Oh boy. That is so hard to do. I don't know. Let me think about this. Boy, you really got me on the spot for this one. This is hard.
New England's going to be back.
You know what? I'm going to go NFC, Chicago Bears.
Dude, that's what I was.
Hey, you let me go first. That's your problem. I'm going NFC, Chicago Bears. In the AFC, I'm going to go. Honestly, there's so many injuries right now. It's so difficult.
Bears and Denver.
I'm going to go with the Patriots, rolling it back. Mahomes isn't going to be ready.
Nah.
Jackson's got a new coach.
Nah.
Pittsburgh's in shambles. Buffalo can't win the big game.
Bears.
In the AFC, and I love Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Maybe they get back. I don't know, but I'm going to go with the safe pick, Bears, Patriots.
Bears and Denver.
I hope Bo Nix is back. I hope he is.
It's going to make the difference.
Yeah. All right, that's our segment there. When we come back, we got to take things across the ocean to Italy. The Winter Olympics are alive and well. Some big stories. We break it all down when we return on 92.9 KVRE.
Third quarter coming up.
And we're back, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 at KVRE. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, we talked about it a week ago on our show, the Winter Olympics. So much hype and buzz surrounding this year's games taking place in northern Italy. But maybe one of the biggest stories affecting the Winter Olympics this year is a continuation of one that we began last week, and one that, literally ends on a somber note here. It's the Lindsey Vonn story, and it's a story that ended in a way that nobody really wanted to see happen here. Lindsey Vonn rupturing her ACL 9 days before the start of the Olympics, and she's very adamant and stoic and says, I'm going to continue to compete. I'm 41 years old. I'm not going to let anything stop me from representing my country at the highest stage of my sport. And what happened next was just extremely unfortunate, crashing just seconds into her downhill run in Cortina. It was just a freak accident, really, when it all comes down to it. Lindsey says herself that it had nothing to do with her ACL, had nothing to do with her knee. Coming right out of the gate, she was, what she said was 5 inches too tight on her racing line. You can see her right arm hooking inside of a gate, twists her body up, and sends her sideways down into a violent fall. One little miscalculation, one little error. Of course, whenever you come down to brass tacks, you're flinging human beings down an icy mountain on skis. It's dangerous as it is. They all know the risks. Lindsey Vonn knew the risks more than anyone out there. And unfortunately, suffering a broken leg, requiring immediate surgery. She was airlifted by helicopter to a hospital. And now after the fact, she says that really in order to completely heal from her complex tibia fracture, it's going to require multiple surgeries to get back to normal there. Certainly ended her Olympic run on the spot. And of course, there's speculation that that may be how her career comes to an end as well. 41 years old, multiple knee surgeries, now very complex leg surgeries that will have to take place. I know it's there's a lot of public opinion going around on social media this week. Boy, that seemed like a really dumb thing to do. Why would you do that? Why would you take the risks? And then the other side of the coin being, Lindsey was not 100%. She was very vocally not 100% going into this thing. Why should she compete and potentially rob a position from someone else on Team USA who may have been in better health or better shape going into that point, trying to compete for the gold there? Your thoughts?
Well, for one thing, Mark, she earned it. We know what her her past performance has been, and she earned it. It's just the same as anybody. We've known other athletes in other sports that have come back also, and maybe not have performed as well as they did that first go around, but they contributed. This is a sport that unfortunately was her downfall, and that's a whole nother slate that we'll talk about some other. But you know what? She earned it. She's the one that was leading. This wasn't given to her.
This is true.
And so in the competitions coming up, leading up to the Olympics, she'd been doing well. As a matter of fact, she had outperformed the other skiers. They just don't give you a spot in the Olympics, okay? So she had earned that position. So anybody can put that to rest if they think she wasn't, there for a purpose. And, lo and behold, the cards weren't there for her. And we hope the best for her as far as her coming back. You and I have talked about this several times about hanging up in this case. And you got to have practicality with it. And she'll talk to her coaches or trainers or whoever she confides in, and they'll figure that out. But this looked like a swim. And next time out, but once again, she earned this spot coming up to it. And so give that to rest right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. You're right. She still had to go through the hoops and hurdles to be selected for this team. She did so. And of course, yes, being injured basically right when you're already in Italy and the pre-trials and the qualifications and things, it's a heartbreaking end, we assume, for her career. I know her dad came out publicly and said this week if it was up to him,
right,
she would never ski again. We're talking about a 41-year-old woman at this point. Like, come on, let it go, Dad. Let it go. She can make her own decisions. But, here's the deal. We said it last week. We echo it this week before and after the second injury. Her legacy is intact. She has nothing to prove to anybody. She didn't need to get a gold medal here to be considered an all-time great, to be considered a winner, to be considered successful here. If anything that Vaughn has proven over the past 2 decades, she's never let injuries define her. And I think that's going to be the lasting legacy here. She came out and said afterward in the press conference, it wasn't the storybook ending she was looking for. It was just life. But she reiterated, it had nothing to do with the knee. She came out of the gate wrong. A tiny little microcosm, just a micro mistake. That's all it takes at this level. You think about all the sports where the majority of the Winter Games seems like it's just flinging humans down mountains and seeing if they come out at the bottom, right? But there's so much math and physics that goes into it. You have to be perfect, spot on in order to be successful, in order to be the greatest in the world. I mean, we're talking about the top athletes on this planet.
Now, Mark, I got to ask you this. Did this, in a way, give Breezy an incentive to do better?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
It gives everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody on Team USA, I think, is inspired by this story and looking, and not even in skiing.
No.
I'm talking about in any sport throughout the Winter Olympics. Everyone is inspired by this story, and they want to go and they want to win, not only for their country. Of course, they want to win for the country, but they want to win for Lindsay as well, because this is a team. It represents the best of American athletes. They are all America together. So,
look at all the young skiers that are trying to come up in the ranks now.
That's exactly right. And some of those names are starting to really get some of the spotlight now. It's really exciting to see. As we switch gears here, let's give a big congratulations to Team USA on the ice.
Ooh, man.
Defeating Canada 5-0 in the Winter Olympics in hockey, women's hockey, handing the Canadians their worst ever defeat in Olympic history. Their worst ever. The favorite, I might add, to win the gold medal this year, Canada. It's Hannah Bilka scoring 2 goals for Team USA, while Caroline Harvey, Kristen Sims, and Layla Edwards each added 1. Women's hockey is dominating right now, and we talked about this in our preview. You got to look at these sports that have traditionally not been strong for Team USA. We're changing the game this year.
No doubt. And early on, we're seeing the Norways and some of those typical winter countries dominating the platforms right now. But there's a lot of sports to go yet, a lot of competition left to go yet. And so you'll start to see those medals start to level out a little bit because they put their first, their their first team's up first, and then but you're going to see these more team stuff coming up, and the USA will start to climb up on the podium a little bit more and more and more. Not that we're not doing bad right now. Total count, I think we're third or fourth right now, tied with Japan today. But I'm telling you what, overall, you're going to start to see these climb up there a little bit more. But I could not be more inspired, not only by Lindsey, but this women's. Watching that game the other night, oh my! You talk about some gals that know their sport. Man, were they on? I mean, they were on. It looked like they were just a team that was just made to win the gold. I'll be honest.
Yes.
And they're undefeated going into the next round. So that's so important right now.
Looking really, really good, and it's changed the landscape of women's hockey, where I think you can realistically say USA is the favorite going in. Hey, got to give some shout outs to some of the men here too as well. I know it's going to sound egotistical. I know it's going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn. I simply kept my receipts. Last week I said watch figure skating.
I'm telling you.
And I'm telling you, it has possibly been the most exciting sport that we've seen into the Winter Olympics this year. Ilya Malinin.
Woo.
That's a name you all need to know. If you don't know the name, you're going to go find the highlights on YouTube or on social media right now. This guy's performing backflips during figure skating.
But they banned it first.
They did. So you're right. So it's the first legal backflip since I think it's like more than 50 years.
It's a long time.
They lifted the ISU, the International Skating Union, lifted the ban on backflips in 2024, re-allowing them into competition. Of course, there was an illegal backflip performed back in the 1998 games in Nagano, Japan, but this is the first legal one here. Of course, Malinin is a two-time defending world champion, and he includes the move in his programs really for the crowd-pleasing, high-risk appeal to it, because it's one thing to do these spins and twists. To do a backflip and land it, I mean, I would be dead. I would absolutely be dead. Now, one thing I do have to say, which is unfortunate, is while it is no longer penalized, the backflip does not add technical points to a skater's score in the end. So no matter how awesome they are, he cannot actually get points for adding it to his performance.
Oh, it's just a show.
It's just a show.
I can do it.
Just like on Dancing with the Stars, where they banned lifts for such a long time, and they still kept doing it anyway.
They're going to do it. Yeah, but guys, I'm telling you right now, with all the social platforms and ways you can watch this stuff, if you didn't see that particular performance, you need to go back right now. That's one of the tier ones right now.
And he's pulled it out multiple times too.
Yeah.
This is, I equate it to the Michael Jackson moonwalk, obviously, because he showed it wasn't just a one and done, a fluke. Oh, I pulled it off. Now I'm not going to do it again. I'm scared. This guy is so confident in what he can do that he's continuously going out there, like I said, changing the game. That's really been the theme of the Winter Olympics for Team USA in this one. I know I'm going to steal the words from you, but tell me about curling this year.
Hats off to the Coreys. I'm just telling you, one stone away from getting the gold. Silver still, though, but, they were disappointed, but around here and around the rest of the United States, no. Congratulations to the Coreys. Unbelievable work getting all the way up there. Of course, they, defeated the defending gold medalist and champions, and going into the biggest stage as far as curling. Making my hands sweat right now thinking about it. I think this is going to be one of the biggest new sports in the United States now, I swear.
It's the first Olympic medal in U.S. history in mixed doubles curling.
Unbelievable. But you know what I think? I love watching the fans and their significant others up in the stage, up in the settings.
Oh, yeah.
With their heart monitors on. That is, oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, you needed them for that one. Are you kidding me?
You may need a defibrillator in your case, but
especially in a competitive team versus team environment like that was. I mean, you couldn't get any more entertainment there. A nail biter, 6'5", Sweden takes the gold
on the last stone.
Dang, so close, that close. But the fact that they were even in the fight at all speaks volumes about where the turnaround for this country has come. I know the U.S. kind of like dominates the summer games here, and the winter games are kind of more wide open. But U.S. is here to party in Italy. They're trying to take home as many golds as possible, and I'm here for it.
No doubt about it. I can't wait till our next show next week talking about it, because we're going to bring in the double DOG a little bit more on that. I just love the way that he's the persona of him coming out and saying, "Look, we're all in this. Leave the governmental stuff alone. Leave that outside the door. Team USA all the way." And that's just a different side that I've seen Snoop Dogg at. And I'm just thinking, man, if there's anybody out there on the world platform that represents the USA and the best of the red, white, and blue, I think he's doing a pretty good job. I'll be honest with you, man.
It's the personality and the voice I didn't know that I needed in the Winter Olympics.
Exactly.
But it's been fun.
I didn't either. I really didn't. I know there's a lot of folks out there are big fans of his. I can't honestly say that I've followed his, but I've seen some of the stuff that he does here, and I was like, hey, he's going to be in Italy represent. But I'm telling you what he's done is unbelievable. Great stuff.
We'll take a break. When we come back, our local roundup is around the bend. This is Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE.
Fourth quarter coming up.
And we're back. Tracy, it's time for our local roundup here on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, and we have some great basketball news all across Garland County. We start in Lake Hamilton this week, where guard Victor Easter recently joined the 1,000-point club in a game against Whitehall. An interview with Easter after the game, he didn't even realize he was that close to surpassing the 1,000-point mark. He still thought he had a few games to go before he got there, but he has been a really big bright spot for the Wolves this season.
And think about that, the competition level that they have over there and what he's done all the way from his sophomore year and then building up. I'm not sure exactly, or he even knows where he's going, but we'll definitely be watching him at the next level, no doubt.
And of course, February marks signing month for a lot of our high school student athletes around the area. We'd like to congratulate senior Adeline Johnson of Lake Hamilton, recently signing her LOI to continue her academic and athletic career at Williams Baptist University in Walnut Ridge. The outside hitter for the Wolves volleyball team, finishing this last season with 209 digs, 42 assists, 14 aces, and 66 perfect serve receive balls. Johnson is a big landing there for the Eagles.
No doubt. Academically, too, though, that's a high-powered school there. She'll get a great degree there and move forward while she's playing her favorite sport, no doubt. You think Coach over at Hot Springs is proud about his signing class?
You better believe it. One of the best football teams in quite a long time over in Trojan Country. Hot Springs had 7 signing to go to the next level, and signing day last week, LeBron Modicure, also Sean Amos, with Pearl River Community College, Louis Jaime, Jamarcus Morning going to UAPB, Jaden Meadows punching his ticket to Culver Stockton College, Jerian Turner going to Arkansas Baptist College, Cedric Bishop Allen going the JUCO route with Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. That is a very good program. And Damon Hicks keeping it in-state at Southern Arkansas University. You can't say enough about this program and about that head coach, Coach Daryl Burnett. A huge opportunity, sending 7 young men to the next level.
Oh, and you know what? Very well deserved, and he's just rebuilding again for next year. You know that. Hey, we've got a pretty big show coming up the first week of August, too. Hey, your favorite pastime, baseball's right around the corner.
Yeah, Hot Springs Baseball Weekend has been announced with some very big guests this time around. Fred McGriff joins the hunt here on Hot Springs Baseball Weekend. It is absolutely the premier event for baseball in Hot Springs. If you've never been, take the kids, take the family, just take yourself if you're just going solo, because this is one of the biggest things that I think the city of Hot Springs does. 6 MLB legends, of course, some of the big names. Bill Spaceman Lee, Al Hrabosky's always there. Goose Gossage is always there. Dale Murphy. Fred McGriff, just shy of 2,500 hits, a 284 batting average in his career, hit 493 home runs, a 5-time All-Star for that Atlanta Braves team from the 1990s. I know a lot of Braves fans that live right here in the Spa City that cannot wait to go meet one of their idols.
Well, I'm telling you right now, this is the time to start putting that one right now on your calendar. Jack Morris is one of the other ones, man. That guy he was one of the original heaters of all times, and sure enough, propelling him into the World Championship games. But, yeah, this is the lineup I mean, unbelievable that brings it straight to home. And also just kicks it off for just everything down at Majestic Park the whole weekend.
Yeah, of course, youth baseball is alive and well over at Majestic Park as well. A lot of great things happening. Of course, over in NPC land, the Nighthawks are in Harrison, Arkansas today for some very big men and women's basketball games. On the women's side, Coach Eddie Broughton's Nighthawks really playing for a possible share of the Region 2 title. It's the biggest game of the season as they go on to take on the Lady Pioneers of North Arkansas College, trying to avenge a loss in the Kettle we saw a month ago. And Coach Dion Hargrove's Nighthawk men very much still in the hunt for postseason play. So these are very big must-win games for NPC out on the road.
Big game for the Razorbacks also today after a dominant performance against the Dogs. We'll see if Auburn, after getting
They've got to avenge
time,
that loss. They have to. Must-win game for Arkansas. That's our show, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE.
Game over.